Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live. I'm Cal Bates, and we are here at the American Bar Association headquarters in Chicago, and I am pleased to be joined this morning by Cabell Clay. Welcome.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Just to introduce you, Cabell Clay practices general commercial litigation. Just to name a few, she has assisted clients with trade secret and restrictive covenant litigation, class action defense, regulatory defense, internal investigations, security and mortgage fraud defense, and those are just a few of the matters that you handle. And you're also currently the administrative director of YLD.
I am.
So welcome to Chicago.
Thanks. I'm down in Charlotte at a large regional firm there, Moore VanAllen, and so it's a little chilly up this way.
That is Chicago. So let's jump right in. As a new associate, that has to be a scary thing. What advice do you have for new associates just starting off?
Just starting off, overall, the best advice I would give is just do good work. Work hard, proofread, make sure the work product you're putting out is good work. That's number one. Above any other tip, do good work. But beyond that, I think the biggest thing that I would tell young associates is you don't know everything, and that's okay. Treat everybody you encounter and everything you're doing as a learning opportunity, whether it is paralegal, staff, other associates, partners, anyone you're working with. It's an opportunity to learn from them and grow your skill set. And if you really approach it with that mindset and that attitude, I think you'll go far. And sometimes as young associates, you get given the grunt work to do, and it's like, why am I doing this? That's okay. Use it as an opportunity to learn from it and just grow.
So have you noticed any mistakes that new associates tend to make, or maybe that you made yourself?
Oh, sure. Just a few. Everyone makes mistakes. And I think the biggest mistake I see is when someone makes a mistake, just letting it paralyze them and being like, oh my God, I made a mistake, my life is over. It's not. Everyone makes mistakes, and the best associates are people who can learn from that mistake, take the criticism, take the feedback, and incorporate it, and don't make that mistake again, and move forward, in a really upbeat manner.
And if you could go back to just a few years ago, what do you wish you knew as a first-year associate?
I think probably along that line a bit that you don't have to be perfect. You need to work hard, you need to be diligent, you want to put your best foot forward. But law school in many ways teaches you how to think, and it might give you an overview of a lot of the topics, but there's a lot where you're not going to know, that they don't teach the practical day-to-day in law school, and that's okay. So as long as you embrace it, that you're there to learn, and the mistakes are okay, minor ones. Don't go lose the client millions of dollars. That is bad. There's no way around that. And then I think the other kind of random practical tip that I wish I'd known as a junior associate was, in the law firm world, majority of law firms, there are some exceptions, how the firm makes money is billing your time. And ultimately, you have to do timesheets, and you do them in these little, often 6-minute increments of 0.1. When you do those, take care and do them carefully, and make sure you're writing your description in a manner that shows the client how it adds value. I remember, it must have been like 2 years into practicing, I had a senior associate who was kind of a mentor of mine, and was one of the first times I was on a case where he was the one that then had to go through the bills before the other client. And he comes to my office and he was like, Cabell, clearly no one has ever talked to you about how to do timesheets. And I'm like, wait, I've been doing this for 2 years, I've been doing it wrong? He's like, pretty much. And he's like, don't just conduct research. The client sees that and they know nothing. They don't know what that means. And if the partner's in a rush, they don't even know what that means. And they're just going to write it off, and now you've lost some of your time. Sure. So, conduct research on this topic to assist with summary judgment briefing, or whatever, that client's preferences are. But, do your timesheets well. And now, as a partner who does timesheets, there's nothing that annoys me more than when I get it and I have to go correct typos and I have to fix it, or an associate does an entry and I'm like, I don't even know what you did. I'm just going to write it off. Sure. And you don't want that.
Now, we're here at the American Bar Association headquarters in Chicago, and we want to thank all the viewers out there for watching. And again, we're taking audience questions, so make sure that you write those questions and get them in so that we can ask Cabell before she goes, and she can answer them for you. And remember to click follow on the video so that you can receive notifications every time that we go live in the future. So click follow on the video there, and you'll get the notifications every time we go live. We're at the American Bar Association headquarters, and of course, I'm sure you're a member of the American Bar.
I'm a member.
Great. How would you say the American Bar has helped your career being a member here?
Well, I think, probably one of the themes you're getting from me today is that you want to learn, and all through your career, you just keep learning and developing. And the ABA, for me, has been a wonderful source to keep learning, whether it's programmings, whether it's webinars, or whether it's just the people you meet through the YLD, through the litigation section, which I'm in, through labor and employment, just the other attorneys that you get to meet and are exposed to and get to learn from is invaluable. And then now, as I'm a little more senior, I'm a partner now in my career, frankly, it's been a great referral source for me. I make connections and relationships with people all over the U.S., and when they need a litigator in Charlotte, I'm lucky enough that often I'm who they think of and call me, and it's been great for my practice.
Okay, so we're going to put you on the hot seat here and start taking some viewer questions. So first question, I was given an assignment by a partner and I don't even know where to start. What do I do?
Oh, that happens, and that's okay. You aren't expected to know everything. The first tip is ask questions. Ask that partner, what do you expect? Is there a database that I should start with? And sometimes, partners are busy and they may not be that approachable. Use the other folks around you. I remember when I was a mid-level associate, we have one partner at my firm who's known for being a little tough and having some scattered ideas and not always explaining great. And we had one of my fellow associates at the time come back, and we're kind of in a hall, a bunch of the associates, we have offices near each other, and she just kind of in the hallway goes, y'all, I have no idea what to do, help. And so we all kind of came out and was like, well, what was your assignment? Oh yeah, I had to do that for him, this, here, try this or do that. So use the people around you as resources and ask questions. Or even your paralegal, if you have one, or a legal assistant might have an idea. And if that gets stuck, call another law school classmate. It's okay to ask for help and say, I don't even know where to start. Stop. And then, this is going to sound like a silly tip, Google it. Never trust Google as this is the final answer, but sometimes someone might have written an article and that'll at least give you a starting point, and then there's a case side in that article, and then you go pull that case and you kind of get you to ground one.
If it's written in an article, it must be true.
No.
Right.
Not saying that. Don't rely on it as fact, but it gives you a place to start.
Yeah, sure. Now, is it okay to say no to an assignment when you don't know what to do?
I wouldn't say no. I would ask questions, and if it's something that's so outside of left field and you've truly never even heard of that area of law before, I'd tell the person, hey, I've never done this before. I'm really excited to learn about this. Can you point me to a resource or a treatise or somewhere I should at least start so I can get a baseline knowledge to make sure that I'm able to help you correctly? But yeah, you want to learn and you want to do all sorts of things. So I wouldn't say no to something just because it intimidates you.
Sure. Next question is, how early on do I need to specialize?
My advice is not early on at all. So my practice is general commercial litigation. And what we do is we bring in our young associates, and you're expected to do all types of litigation. And it's mainly commercial, so meaning when businesses have disputes. But we've got construction, we've got regulatory, we've got investigations, employment, trade secret. And as a young associate, get exposed to all of it, and you might find somewhere that's really your niche. You get to work with different partners and learn their different styles. And then I kind of fell into my niche that when I was a young associate, I got staffed on a large federal trade secret case. And with it, we went to a federal jury trial, won a lot of money, went well, and then when that partner had another trade secret case, he came to me. And so that's kind of how it kind of organically grew, and I really liked it. And so stuck with it. But still today, we'll do any commercial dispute that's brought my way.
Great. This next question comes from Katrina. Katrina wants to know any advice on building a work-life balance early on in your career, if you have one.
It's hard. The law profession is demanding, and especially when you are a young associate, you're building your reputation as a hard worker, as a team player, and so it's hard to remember to put yourself first at times. For me, it was very important to find something that kind of centered me and was my time for myself every day. And I have 2 dogs, and they like to go for walks, although one's getting old and cranky now. But so I would make sure that I took, whether it was an hour, 45 minutes, but a chunk of time every day where I took them for a walk, and maybe I listen to music, or now I love listening to various podcasts. Normally not even on the law, just kind of something that just is my time to clear my mind and kind of center myself.
And lastly, are there any takeaways that you want everyone watching to know before we wrap it up?
Oh man, takeaways. I think the practice of law, it's stressful and it's hard, and it can be scary right out of law school, because law school in many ways doesn't really prepare you for the daily grind of being an associate. It's more theoretical, it's more conceptual, and find a system of organization that works for you. That whether it's to-do lists, whether it's maintaining a calendar, whether it's just a system that helps you get organized and makes it more manageable. I would go in when I was crazy busy as a junior associate, and I would make my list for the day, and I'd break it into 3 categories. What absolutely has to be done today? It is a deadline. It needs to be done today. Okay, that's going to be my first priorities. What, if I finish those, should I go ahead and work on because the deadline's next up? And what's kind of a long-term thing? And that helped me make it feel just more manageable and less overwhelming at times.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Cabell Clay, for joining us today. We appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for logging on and joining us on Facebook Live. Remember to click follow on the video so that you can receive notifications when we go live in the future. And for resources, you can go to the website. That's www.abalcc.org. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a good day.